I was never locked out of my systems. Anybody who says
Your
it,
lawsuit says the opposite. Your lawsuit contains
anyone that says the
your
opposite is lying.
the lawsuit
Thank you.
that you
Patel lawsuit, quote, Director Patel had a routine technical problem logging into a government system, which was quickly fixed. In other words, based on Patel's own news conference, he and his lawyers are lying. Hello, everybody. David Shuster here. Kash Patel's press conference meltdown came as reporters questioned him about a blockbuster story in the Atlantic magazine that has now been picked up and amplified across cable news.
New allegations about Patel, including some sources who say Patel is frequently drunk on the job, regularly absent from work, and paranoid about getting fired.
And Patel's paranoia about Trump firing him was allegedly on vivid display April the 10th.
Patel struggled to log into an internal computer system. He quickly became convinced that he had been locked out, and he panicked, frantically calling aides and allies to announce that he had been fired by the White House, according to 9 people familiar with his outreach. 9 people.
At Patel's news conference, reporters started with this.
I do want to give you an opportunity to respond directly to the allegations in the Atlantic article that your unexplained absences created a national security risk. And beyond that, can you say definitively that you have not been intoxicated or absent during your tenure as FBI director?
I can say unequivocally that I never listen to the fake news mafia. And as when they get louder, it just means I'm doing my job. This FBI director has been on the job twice as many days as every director before me. What that means is I've taken half as many days off.
Okay, well, taking half as many days off as his predecessors does not mean Patel has been on the job twice as much. That's the kind of false and sloppy math that one does when drunk. As far as Kash Patel's drinking allegedly impairing his performance as FBI director, Patel responded with this.
Never been intoxicated on the job, and that is why we filed a $250 million defamation lawsuit. And any one of you that wants to participate, bring it on. I'll see you in court.
explain the computer login issue. Just explain the computer login issue. You were not able to log into your lawsuit contends that you were not able to log into the system. What did you think after you were unable to log into the system?
Let's have a survey. How many of you people believe that's true? Hang on.
Did you communicate?
You
with
asked the question. Let me answer it.
The question was, what did you think after you were unable to log into the system? And the reporter tried again.
Did you communicate with anyone that you thought you were fired after you were unable to log into
The problem with you and your report, don't cut me off. You asked the question.
Straightforward question.
The problem with you and your baseless reporting is that is an absolute lie. It was never said. It never happened. And I will serve in this administration as long as the president and the attorney general want me to do so. And every time you guys report false lies, every time you guys raise baseless questions, when we are here to talk about the Southern Poverty Law Center's $3 million decade-long scheme to fraudulently fleece Americans, you are off topic.
You are off topic. Because in the world of Kash Patel, only the FBI and the Department of Justice and others in the Trump administration get to decide what is in the news. Talk about fragile and unhinged. Kudos to the reporter for standing firm and trying yet again to get Patel to answer if Patel talked to anybody about being fired after not being able to log into the FBI computer system.
It's a simple, straightforward question. Did you talk to anybody about whether you thought
The
you were
simple
fired?
answer to your question is you are lying. And every time you do so, I've answered your question. It's simply as follows. I was never locked out of my systems. Anybody who says
your
it,
lawsuit says the opposite. Your lawsuit contains
anyone that says the
your
opposite is lying.
The lawsuit
Thank you.
that you filed says that directly.
Man, stop. You're being extraordinarily rude. And I know maybe that's part of your profession, but please just stop. If you ask a question, he can answer it. And then wait, now you're interrupting me. Like, just a little bit of respect, man. Just a tiny little bit. Try it sometime. Go ahead.
Try showing some respect, says Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche, when the FBI director just blatantly contradicted his own lawsuit filing and disrespected reporters asking about it. Patel's lawsuit says the FBI director had a problem logging in. The Atlantic magazine reports Patel thought he had been locked out and fired. Patel denies thinking he had been fired, despite 9 different people allegedly hearing him say that he thought he had been fired. And Patel denies he had been locked out of his computer system. Now, perhaps Patel is trying to make a distinction between being locked out and being logged out. And this would not be the first time a political leader has tried to stretch basic words in absurd fashion. 27 years ago, President Bill Clinton, amidst the Lewinsky sex scandal, said, "It depends on what the definition of is." With Kash Patel and his alleged paranoia, maybe it depends on what the definition of locked out is. Still, that's a ridiculous defense. And Patel's ridiculousness at the news conference kept coming as he tried to defend guzzling beers in an Olympic locker room with the gold medal winning U.S. hockey team.
I'm like an everyday American who loves his country, loves the sport of hockey, and champions my friends when they raise a gold medal and invite me in to celebrate.
Patel really thinks those hockey players are his friends? Come on. I once had a beer with NFL superstar Tom Brady. Does that mean Brady is my friend? Patel's judgment is arguably non-existent, and his alleged drinking is dangerous.
On multiple occasions in the past year, members of his security detail had difficulty waking Patel because he was seemingly intoxicated. This was Chris was just referencing. And that's according to information supplied to Justice Department and White House officials. A request for breaching equipment, normally used by SWAT and hostage rescue teams to quickly gain entry into buildings, was made last year because Patel had been unreachable behind locked doors, according to multiple people familiar with the request.
Between Patel's alleged drinking and delusions, his Epstein file cover-up, and his misuse of taxpayer funds, a growing number of lawmakers have had enough.
Kash Patel flew on taxpayers' dime to the Olympics, and on taxpayers' dime partied and drank at the Olympics. He's also instilled a culture of fear at the FBI, and he lied about the Epstein investigation when he said that there was no credible evidence that Epstein trafficked any victim to third parties. There's mountains of such evidence. And then this past week, The Atlantic put out an article that shows that Kash Patel appears to be a raging alcoholic. He should not be FBI director. He should go seek help and treatment.
Well said. Kash Patel has some obvious problems, and those problems endanger U.S. national security. There are reports that Donald Trump has been considering firing Kash Patel for weeks. Well, that cannot happen soon enough. Kash Patel is unhinged and can't even handle members of the press quoting Patel's own lawsuit. Get Kash Patel out of there. The FBI and our nation deserve better. By the way, Trump Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is now getting shredded over this.
We're seizing this moment to discard any absurd, overreaching mandates that only weaken our warfighting capabilities.
Headline, Hegseth announces end of military flu vaccine requirement. We will not force you, Hegseth said.
Your body, your faith, and your convictions are not negotiable. Your health. It's common sense. It's the kind of common sense approach we're undertaking in this department.
Make this make sense, posted Global Affairs analyst Olga Nestorova. Spanish flu, someone should Google it. Adam Server, nothing has killed more soldiers in the history of humanity than disease. While worst is a more complicated question, Hegseth is absolutely the dumbest Secretary of Defense the United States has ever had. Check out that video at the link below. It generated a lot of comments on YouTube. One of the most popular from Rebecca, who wrote, "Oh, for F's sake, I was in the Navy. We all had to get vaccines. It was to protect each other. He's an idiot." I hear you. I look forward to reading your comments about the idiocy of FBI Director Kash Patel. He's now accusing his own lawyers of lying. I'm David Shuster. Thanks for joining us.